Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been very interested in topics related to intelligence, the intelligence community, and that was the first thing I did after college. Is I went to work in and with the intelligence community and the defense industrial base. And what I learned very quickly is that government life wasn't for me. I'm actually a third-generation entrepreneur, and I was very interested in continuing the work that my grandfather and my father had done around forging their own path and creating their own businesses. And so I went out and I focused on doing the same thing. I initially built a competitive intelligence business which pulled on that background from the intelligence community, working with a really wide range of companies, everything from DNA sequencing to cement manufacturing, and ultimately spent quite a lot of time working in security. Great companies like RSA and Symantec, Cisco, VMware, many others. And the thing that I always found to be interesting was that they were very focused on protecting infrastructure. So how do I make servers and networking gear and laptops and phones and so on harder to break into? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a very good pursuit. But the data actually suggested that the problem was somewhere else. The data said that 90% of the attacks focused on people. And I thought that dissonance was quite interesting. And so I began to dig into that. I went and I talked to customers, I talked to CISOs and chief risk officers and general counsels, and I asked them just a very simple question. Are people a big problem in your business? And the answer was very uniform. Yes, people are the biggest challenge we have in the business. And I'd say, well, how are you solving this problem today? And they'd say, well, we give people training and we put protection on their endpoints. And I'd say, hey, does that work? And they'd say, well, not really, And so that's really where I started to dig into this question of how are these attacks happening? How are they using this data about people to effectively target them? And it began to be a problem that I thought about so much, it was keeping me up at night, really. It was a chemical imbalance in my brain, if you will. I got very interested in it. So much so that I decided that I was going to go start a company that worked on solving this problem. The first thing that I had to do was, of course, go out and negotiate with my wife, my most important partner in this world, just to get her buy-in on such a thing. I also had to negotiate with my co-founder of my prior business to get his buy-in on it. Of course, we had a very successful business that was running and doing great work for people over the world. But it was ultimately the decision that I came to that I was going to go and leave and start this new company that today is called VanishID. And I haven't looked back since. It's been a tremendous ride. We've got tens of thousands of lives that we're protecting every day, and amazing enterprises and chief security officers and CISOs that we're working with to protect not only the enterprise, but also the executives and their families.